Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And today we are back for another cupcake decorating video for the 25 days of cupcake decorating. And this little gnome is one of my favorites. When I was giving these cupcakes away, everybody wanted the gnome. Pause for the fondant colors that you need, and honestly most of these are interchangeable. The only thing that you really will need is the black and the white or gray. To create the gray fondant, just mix a little bit of black fondant with the white fondant. If you notice it's turning kind of purple instead of that nice gray that you want, add a little bit of yellow to counteract that. After creating a gray ball for the body, I create one large ball of black and split it in half to create the feet. Very, very simple shapes for this gnome today. This is a pretty easy project. It might seem a little bit intimidating at first because it really is all about balance for this gnome. You'll notice that I'm keeping my lollipop stick kind of high in this one. If you've watched my other tutorials in this series, you might have observed that I've been cutting them kind of low, but in this instance, we really need that height because we need to support that hat that's going to go on top. For the beard, I was being really haphazard with the shape. Create some sort of triangle-like shape that hangs fairly low because the gnome beard is quite long. When adhering all of the fondant today, I'm just using a little bit of water, and I did mix shortening into my fondant just so that it stays nice and pliable. When I first started learning how to make fondant figures, I remember there were a lot of tutorials that said I needed to put my fondant that I wasn't working with into a Ziploc bag or some sort of plastic bag to protect it. And while that is good advice, and I will do this if I'm leaving it out for long periods of time, adding that shortening in just gives me that little bit of extra time so I don't have to waste that time going back and forth between the bag and taking it out of the bag. It's also important that you go in the order that I'm showing you right now, or else things won't come together properly. Some tutorials you can get away with doing things in your own way. Go in this order so that it all stacks correctly. What I love about this gnome design and the gnome trend in general is that there's no eyes for our gnome. It's all covered by their giant hat, so all you need is a little peachy nose. You can make your hat whatever texture and color you desire. This would have been cool if I rolled this on a fabric imprinting mat, but I didn't have that on hand, so I just decided to go with a smooth hat. And notice how long I'm making it. If you don't make it long, it's not going to look as much like a gnome as you might want it to. So make it really long, let it hang over like that, and I just kind of organically let it come down. Also, don't be afraid to play with your fondant figure a little bit. Keep touching it, keep squishing it, move it to where you want it to go. Fondant is one of those things that is easily pliable, and once you leave it in one position for a while, it does start to harden. And then go ahead and indent your gnome. I love giving it these little realistic touches, especially in the hat. I love making fondant look like fabric. It's one of my favorite things. That and doing realistic other foods out of fondant. My two favorite things. Anyway, so you'll notice that I'm indenting quite a bit here, playing with it. Again, make it how you want it. I think this little fondant gnome idea would be really cute if you made multiple of them and placed them all over a wintry cake. That would be super, super fun. It would also look great if you just made a dozen of these little cupcakes and placed them on your Christmas table this year. I could have left that as a raw edge. It looked totally fine, but I wanted to incorporate a little bit more of the white to give it more of a wintry feel. And to get this white band, all you do is you roll it on the palm of your hand, or you can roll it on a surface and then go ahead and wrap around. And you'll notice when I break off fondant, I often just do it with my fingers. You don't always have to whip out the X-Acto knife. Then adding on a little pom-pom at the end, and I am putting it here so that it actually has a place to secure to and it's not just hanging off. If I wanted that pom-pom kind of hanging in the middle of nowhere, I probably would have to put a little bit of wire into the hat to make sure it attached properly. To decorate the entirety of the cupcake, I'm going to be using some green Italian meringue buttercream, and this is definitely a throwback to the wreath cupcake, using pretty much the same techniques, but my placement is going to be different. So I'm going all around the cupcake with one ring of these leaves. When I'm doing it, I'm not wiggling it this time like I did with the wreath, though you totally can. I'm actually just squeezing it and pulling off, and when you are pulling off, my friends, make sure that you do not continue to squeeze. So on that first little round, I just did regular leaves. The reason is because I knew that it really wasn't going to show up if I did this kind of crinkle technique on the bottom, so might as well do a little bit less buttercream and just pull off. Now I'm going to wiggle this back and forth and pull it off just like I did with the wreath, placing that gnome directly in the center. And because Italian meringue buttercream is so nice and firm, and it firms up the best out of all of the buttercreams that I've tried out so far, it is my go-to when I have heavy fondant decor. Your little gnome cupcake could easily be left there, but I wanted to give it a few more wintry notes, so I decided to add on these white pearls. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading every single day for Vlogmas, so be sure to come back tomorrow to see what other cupcake decorating techniques I am going to show you. And if you're sad that this video is over, do not fret. Head on over to the Bake Down podcast where you can see us uploading every single day as well for Vlogmas. Bye!